Hello everyone, and welcome to our humble presentation. I'm Hamza, and we are Group 12. Through this presentation, we will be discussing and talking about a proposal proposed for the coordinator, Wasim Abdul Qayyum, about the problems that faced us during the course and the midterm exam.
Why is this proposal is important to us? Programming is a really important field in the future, and we faced some serious problems during the midterm. It's really important to solve these problems to improve the outputs of our university. And as we all know, that programming is essential thing in computer world. It's the main thing in any website in the internet, and we need to lead the programmers the right and perfect way to train their skills. And we are propose a proposal about some critical problems that we faced during the midterm exam and during the lectures of this course.
So we did the survey. We wanted to see if the people, other students, they agree with what we think. So we asked them two questions. The first question is what was your score in the first test? 30% had 0 to 10 marks only, while 33% had from 10 marks to 20 marks, and 23% were from 20 to 25 marks, while only 12% had from 25 to 30%. That means that the exam was hard. But why was it hard? The second question was why the exam was hard. 25% said that the exam time was short. They didn't have enough time to solve all questions. While 13% said that the questions were difficult. While 50% said that the time was little and the questions were hard. While only 10% said that it wasn't hard.
As you all saw in the survey, more than the majority of the students had problems in the exam. And what are these problems and what are their solutions? The first problem was the way that this exam was taken, which is writing a code in paper, which is not a perfect way for programmers to write their program. One of the first things and the main things that a programmer learns, which is trace coding and correcting your mistakes. So a programmer is expected to write code with many mistakes and correct them and run the program more than once to correct and write a perfect program. So that didn't help by writing a program in a paper, which you can't delete and erase your code and edit it. The second thing was the way the test was taken, which is wasn't the best way and wasn't a good way, and the student couldn't see the benefits of having this test taken this way, which is writing it on paper. The last thing is the type of questions in the exam, and it mainly focused on the remember of the student and wasn't about thinking and how to solve the problem itself. Now the solutions. The first solution, which is very easy and to be the exam to be taken in computer, and that way the student will be able to edit his program and his code and write a more perfect program. And you can see here that the student can, if the student understand the CPCS or not, and if the student is a good programmer or not. Extending the time of the exam so the students can have more time, and you can see if they really understand, because some students are just slow in writing, and that way they lose marks for not answering questions they know the answer to. The third is changing the concept in the exam, and the exam is more about thinking than remembering, and that way you can see the good student from the bad one, and each student will get his grade that he deserves.
The second problem. Another main issue is the deficiency of interaction and communication between the doctor or the lecturer and the student. Solution for the second problem. From what we learned from the course of CPIT221 to deal with the studying environment and impacts on our lives as professionals, in which it was a new skill to gain or even develop. So by that, I believe that if doctors change their teaching methods and try to communicate more with the students to understand them as well as making the lecture enjoyable.
Why will happen if the problem gets solved? First, the student thinking will be developed as the questions, and by making the question based on understanding and thinking in the reasonable limit instead of memorizing. By that, the material will be helped to reach to the required level in learning the basic of Java language. Second, extend the time of the exam won't just make it a matter of rush and writing to just complete the lines, but it will be lying of thinking and analyzing the question at doing the exam.
An important question should be asked. What would happen if the problems weren't solved? If the suggested solutions weren't applied, some issues might appear or even amplify to be worse. As the advancement of technology, especially computers, and with the appear of many programming languages that were mainly created and designed by computers and to be used by them. So the idea of writing codes on a piece of paper might be a useful way to memorize the codes, but for sure will not benefit the students to think and analyze the equations needed to be done by the code. Finally, we are proposing this proposal to make the course easier and more beneficial to the students who will study the course in the future. And for that, we put a timeline for it. Most of the solutions can be tested and examined during a term or 2 full terms, which will be between 4 to 9 months.
In the conclusion, we hope that the Faculty of Computing and Information Technology will review our concern about the problems that we faced in the programming course, and especially in what happened in the midterm exam.
At the end, we hope that our proposal will reach the people who have the power in the Faculty of Computing and Information Technology to make the change. We are Group 12, and we thank you all for being patient listeners.